I was just going to say that I want to wrap it up with this, but I don't want you to be modest. I want you to just be as egotistical as you have to be. Give me the list. Give me the list of the A-listers who have said to you or you have heard from about watching the Red Zone.
I'm going to forget names now, but I've been told we were on in the White House, both in the Obama administration and in the Trump administration. I'm not sure about the current administration. I've been told that who are some of the? I'm trying to think of Hollywood first.
But you can even do players. I'm sure athletes from other sports. I'm sure NBA players. It's their offseason. They're watching.
Charles Barkley interrupted Inside the NBA one time. They did a spoof on NFL Red Zone. Like, what if NBA Red Zone was a thing? Like, and they had Ernie try and do like, this team just got over half court. And he was trying to cut and it was obviously a spoof, but They came back out to the desk after they did their little bit. And Charles said, Ernie, I'm just going to tell you that my friends kept telling me, you got to watch my Barkley's not very good, but I'll go with it.
Right. It's good.
That my friends kept telling me Red Zone, Red Zone, Red Zone. I finally watched it. And we all know what a big gambler Charles is. And he's like, I finally watched it, and it's amazing. He said, NFL Red Zone is the greatest. Great job, Scott Hanson. And he name-checked me, and I was like, that. And I was watching live, and I was like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Charles was on this podcast 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he told me him and his friends go to Vegas every 2 to 3 weeks during the season to watch the game. So I'm sure on those other weeks, there's Charles. Well, I wish I would have known that before I spoke to Charles. I would have asked him about his love of the Red Zone.
Yeah, well, no, he said it on record. I've got that clip from Inside the NBA. Yeah. I'm sure it's on my social media. But in terms of football, how about this? I'm at one of the Super Bowls, and one of my jobs at the Super Bowl is on Super Bowl opening night. It used to be called Media Day, but opening night, Monday night, when the teams fly into the Super Bowl city for the week. I introduced the team captains, right? So from the NFC champion, Atlanta Falcons, team captains, Matt Ryan, da-da-da-da-da. From the AFC champion, New England Patriots, captains, Tom Brady, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And so we do this moment. They have the Vince Lombardi trophy there and everything else like that. And then we throw to commercial break for the live TV audience. And the stage lights go dim and the players were walking off the stage. And I get a tap on my shoulder and I turn around and it's Tom Brady. And he goes, and I've known Tom for a while. I used to be a reporter, so I would interview him every once in a while. And Tom goes, hey, Scott, I just want to let you know you do an awesome job on Red Zone. And I was like, that's pretty freaking cool when the GOAT tells you he's watching. And he watches, apparently, well, when he was playing, he would watch every time he was on Thursday Night Football, he was watching Red Zone on Sunday. He was playing on Monday Night Football, Red Zone on Sunday. Bye week, Red Zone on Sunday. Even Sunday Night Football, you could get a few hours of it in the early window before you'd have to go to the stadium and whatnot. So Brady was that way and still is, I understand. Josh Allen has told me he absolutely won't. He watches Red Zone. It's his favorite television show when he's not playing or when he works it out. He says even if they're playing in the late window, he can have it on in the locker room for the early window of games. And then game stadiums, if you're playing at 4:25 Eastern, game stadiums at like 3 o'clock, when we get to the witching hour, they'll show it on their Jumbotron. While the Bills and the Chiefs are warming up on the field for their 4:25 Eastern game and the fans are coming into the stands, they've got us up on the Jumbotron. And then That's great. More really cool one that you'll get a kick out of. Another Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl that CBS was carrying. I'm doing some live reports on the sideline. Super Bowl Sunday, this is. And I get another tap on my shoulder, turn around, and it's Jim Nance. And Jim says, Scott, I like NFL Red Zone's awesome, man. You guys do a great job with it. And I'm like, well, Jim, wait a second. You've always got, or almost always got, a 4:25 Eastern game. He's like, oh, I'm watching it all up. And that's how I know what's going on in the NFL prior to the kickoff of my game at 4:25 Eastern. About a month or two later, I bumped into one of his producers for the late window, the big Romo Nance game. And he says he keeps watching it during our game. We'll be coming out of commercial break and he's got Red Zone on. I don't know if it's on his phone or whatever, and he's watching it during the commercials to see what other 3 games are in the late window and whatnot. Yep. And they've had, I've told, and I hope I'm not telling tales out of school here for Jim. They've had to tell him, hey, Jim, quit, ignore that. We're coming back out of break with this graphic or whatever. So it's awesome. It's the show of record for our industry. Everyone that works at NFL Network that's not working on Sunday is watching Red Zone. Almost all of my friends at ESPN that are not working on NFL Sunday are watching Red Zone. So it informs the entire football public, because the people that will inform people on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pardon the interruption, or, First Take or whatever other show you want to talk about, they're consuming the NFL on Red Zone primarily. It's a heck of a responsibility, but also a big thrill.